Here we go. So welcome back to the stream, guys. I've got a bunch of stuff that I've been working on, and I'm going to be showing off the work I've been putting in, looking at some interesting data. So gonna get this up for you, and yeah, big lot of stuff. So we've got what we've got here is we've got the championship standings after each round as a bit of a progression, so you get to see what's going on, how things are going. So kind of hard to tell. Who's that? That's right, Cam Waters is the pink one. He had smashed everyone round one. Will Brown led it for a while, and Brock Feeney actually had a bit of a slow start, but he was in the mix, and then he just started beating everyone since round 4 and extending his championship lead. And so there's a lot of little stories that we're going to see here, and I'm going to go through individual drivers. I'm going to try and break stuff down, but the key is trying to work out if a driver is actually as good as they seem. Like, are they just having a bit of luck? Are they having unusual success? Are they, are they as good as they seem? Which is the main one I'm talking about, and most importantly, who's going to make it to the finals? Who's going to come out after Bathurst in the top 10 of the championship? Which a thing that they kind of screw up when they're trying to sell us in the finals is it's after Bathurst, not after Queensland. It's after Bathurst. Like after Queensland, that's the end of the Sprint Cup. But you still got the Bend and Bathurst, and both of those could throw up huge curveballs for anybody in the back end of the top 10. That could be the end of their chance at the top 10 if they have a bad tail and bend, they have a bad Bathurst. They're more likely to probably have a nasty crash in Bathurst than they are at tail and bend, but they could, you could see Anton De Pasquale out of it after the Enduros and not make the finals. It's a possibility. So yeah, so let's break it down. So at the moment we've got Will Brown in second and Matt Payne in third, and I know it probably seemed like at Townsville that Matt Payne was kind of beating Brownie, but he wasn't really. The Grove cars just weren't that fast at Townsville for some reason. They weren't that fast enough. They were close, but not fast enough. And Will Brown's managed to hold off Matt Payne the last few rounds. He actually extended his lead in the championship by 1 point, I think. His relative lead in the championship compared to Matt Payne. He extended his lead on Matt Payne by 1 point. Whereas Brock Feeney obviously had a great round and extended his lead by another 100 points or something crazy. So then we've got Cam Waters, and he's sort of quietly getting some decent points. And you got Chaz Mostert, who had a pretty good Townsville, but he wasn't quite close enough. And he hasn't really been close enough. I think Cam Waters just had a bit of a dud weekend, just not quite in the mix like he thought he would be. Then what else have we got? Because if we look down here, we've got yeah, my the way this thing works, it doesn't seem to want to really tell me what it's looking at. Because I was trying to look at Bryce Forward before, and he's like here or something like that. Is he here? Or... I'm pretty sure he's not the blue one, but I can't remember what he is. He's that little light blue one, I'm pretty sure. See? And so I got to click on it, and it lights it up there. So he didn't have a great start to the year. I think so. That was Sydney Motorsport Park, Albert Park, Taupo. He did a little bit better, but then they went to Tassie, got a podium. They went to Perth, and he did okay, but not great. And then Darwin, he obviously did really well, and Townsville, he did really well. and so he has been clawing up points. I don't think he's going to make finals though, because you need to be doing a lot better than that. And he's not beating Andre to begin with, so he's not like he's the best BJR driver every weekend. He's just getting good points himself. Andre's managed to hang on to his position and not do quite as badly as you'd think he would be. And I will go and break it down a lot more in a bit, but I'm just showing the nice graph. This is the fruits of my efforts. I like to look at the nice graph and go, oh, look what's going on here. So, here's this brown line. We've got Kai Allen right here, as I was talking about earlier. Kai Allen didn't have a great start to the year, but he got I think Perth was the first sign we went, oh, he could actually start stitching some weekends together. So like the first bit of the year, SMP, he did qualify in the top 10. He has shown little flashes of speed and decent racecraft. But he's gone into a couple bingles, not too bad. Go to Taupo, he got caught in a little bingle, but he was able to get some. I think he got a top 10 at Taupo. Go to Tassie, not really in it. The Grove cars weren't particularly good there anyway. Go to Perth. I was impressed. He was qualifying in the top 10 and he's racing near the back of the top 10, which was good. He was getting solid results. Goes to Darwin, obviously breaks through for a couple of podiums and the lead Grove car as well. Go to Townsville, not quite there, but he is starting to pull together some solid weekends. He just needs to keep that up. And there's only one more sprint round before he starts having issues, or before it starts getting a bit more serious. So at QR, you just got to make sure you have a solid weekend, bring in 180 points. That'd be pretty decent. Basically, score 100 points at least, but you definitely want to be banging on the door of about 200 points if you want to start crawling someone in or bringing someone in. And then he's got Dale Wood as his co-driver, and Dale Wood's a great co-driver. We did talk about him one of the streams where we said that maybe he wasn't that great, but I think maybe it was more of a personality thing than a driving thing. And Bathurst, Dale Wood's always great at Bathurst. Kai himself, this is his third Bathurst, so I'm not overly optimistic. He had a slow car at 23, slow car at 24. This will be the first year that he might actually have a decent car. Groves are usually pretty solid at Bathurst, so he could expect to have some top 10 race pace, or at least qualify. Qualifying is qualifying. Sometimes you screw up the lap and it's raining or something. So, and he could have an issue, like he could crash at Bathurst, so that could ruin his season as far as his steady progression is going in the championship. But we can look at some things and see what sort of gains he's made. Like he was sort of down the back for a little while. Other people maybe had some worse weekends. Some people had some really bad Taupos where they just couldn't put it together. Is that James Courtney or is that Macaulay Jones? I think this pink one's Macaulay Jones. See, Mac has got really steady progression. He just kind of rakes in just under 100 points every weekend. And so anyone who slips up around him ends up losing out. Then we got Jackson Evans. Now, Jackson Evans was an interesting one because earlier in the year, he was actually outperforming Macca. And then, what did he do? What was this one? This is Townsville, Darwin. This is Perth. And I think he had an issue in one of the races at Perth and ended his race there. Went to Darwin, had the crash and didn't get any points. Went to Townsville, had a couple of crashes as well. So he's not going on a good run for points and his momentum is pretty shot at the moment. So he will be looking to just have a clean weekend at Queensland just to pick up some decent points rather than just like 25 points. It's just not really going to make the difference for you. And he's got a lot to claw back now as well. Like he was close enough at Darwin and then he had a bad Townsville, so he's dropped a bunch of points. So he has to outperform Macca by a bigger margin if he wants to beat him in the championship. We're at David Reynolds here, and Reynolds was having a really rubbish time until is that Perth, Tassie, and he just having a slightly better weekend. Some top tens, not too bad. Or I think it was one top 10 in the Sunday race. Another thing in the way the championship works this year is that you've got the smaller races grant smaller points, and the bigger races grant bigger points, obviously. So if it's nice to have a great race in the smaller race, but it's not going to get you quite as many points. Like Brody Kostecki won a race at Townsville, and he got 65 points or something. But then his Saturday and Sundays were worse and worse, which meant he didn't get quite as many points as he should have got if it was just a normal race weekend with the old point system of each race gives you 150 points. That's just the way that it works, and it's hard to say whether we agree with it or not, or whether we like it, but it's interesting for sure. So it's Kai Allen. Got Nick Percat here. Not too interesting. Just having a bit of a nowhere year. He's doing okay. Not great. Got Heimgartner here. It's probably exaggerated because they're focusing on Fullwood at the moment, saying, look how well Fullwood's doing. But Andre's doing well enough that he's not completely comfortable in the top 10, but he's getting solid points every weekend. He's had, I think, so you can see Darwin was pretty good for him. I think he outscored Bryce in that weekend, actually. What's that? Perth. I think he had a bit of a P nowhere sort of weekend. You can see the relative gains, but he's got a much bigger gain in Darwin. Can be difficult. I think Thomas Randall. Is that Thomas Randall? Yeah. He sort of he's gone through a bit of a lull. So he had like an okay start to the year, not very many points at Taupo. What's that? Tassie is a bit better, obviously got on the podium. And what's after Taz? Hang on, that's the Grand Prix, so not very good at the Grand Prix. Taupo was good. Tassie was good. Perth was also good. So like he's sort of like he had better momentum the last few rounds, and then in the most recent 2 rounds at Darwin and Townsville, he just hasn't had the speed for some reason. So that's been a bit of an issue for him. And obviously he's getting outperformed by his much better teammate Cam Waters, so it's not helping. But he's doing solid, so he's probably pretty comfortable in the top 10. I've probably been bagging him a bit, but I think he's probably got what it takes to stay in the top 10. And he kind of needs luck to go his way. Bathurst has not been his friend in the last several years. He just sort of goes there and things don't really work out. He'd be pretty happy if he managed to stick it in the shootout this year because he probably needs that. He's got the ability to make good results happen. It just hasn't happened for whatever reason. I think, I can't remember what's happened in the last few years. Obviously, in 2023, you would not want to have driven a Ford at Bathurst, but I think in 24 and 25, parity's been pretty close enough, so you're not going to have a terrible time going to Bathurst if you're a Ford driver. You will have a chance at a good result, assuming that a lot of things line up for you. And that's a whole debate. It's a whole can of worms going into parity. But Tickford is usually a pretty fast team at Bathurst anyway. There's Brody here, who's been having... I think we're just hoping that he's gonna have a really strong time, but what did he do? Not too great. Hang on, what did he have? It was an okay start at SMP. Albert Park was decent. Big swing at Taupo. We got some podiums, pole positions. Went to Tassie, nowhere, had a terrible time. Went to Perth and he's just getting okay points. So pretty solid, pretty much on his own at the moment, just doing his own thing, trying his best, and things aren't quite working out. You got Anton. Anton had a pretty strong start to the year. You got, what was it? Albert Park. Can't really remember. I think he got some top tens there, and things went pretty badly for them. And they went to Taupo. Hang on, I'm losing track of who I'm talking about. Anton. Yeah, Taupo was terrible. They had a really bad pit stop and sort of screwed it up for themselves. Went to Perth, and they were just, it was Perth and it was Tassie. They were just nowhere. They just right down the back and had a terrible time. Went to Perth, about the same. Bounced back at Darwin, bounced back at Townsville. And my question is he normally good, or did he just have like a few flashes in the pan? Which reminds me of Cameron Hill. Here's Cameron Hill. So at the start of the year, MSR had a pretty crap start of the season. Went to Albert Park, racked up some good points. Went to Taupo, and Cam managed to snag a podium on the Sunday, got some big points. Went to Tassie, and I think he was okay, but not great. And Nick got a podium, so they had some speed. Went to Perth, not great. And so it's like they were just really good at the start of the season, and since then just been chipping away at it, not quite great. So, there's a chance that Kai Allen could steal it from Cameron Hill. He's P11 at the moment. We've got Ryan Wood, who managed to grab the last spot in the top 10, grabbed 10th at Townsville because Cameron Hill was just nowhere. Cameron Hill was slightly ahead for a while, but I think in general, Ryan Wood he typically has top 10 weekends. He's got a good car and a good team, and is a good driver. He just things didn't work out for a couple rounds, and now he's back into it. Where else are we looking? Who we got? We've got Jack LeBrock, and the more I think about it, the less impressed I've been with. Oh, let's price forward. Hang on, where's Jack LeBrock? Yeah. The more I think about it, the less impressed I've been with the Erebus drivers. They've got good enough cars. The drivers keep making mistakes. That's what I think. I think that they are not quite as close as where they should be. They should be banging closer to the top 10, but they haven't capitalized on the fast cars when they've had them. Like Townsville, they had fast cars, but they just did not get anything right. Bad laps in qualifying and getting into Bengals and bad strategy. Like they really threw away a good weekend at Townsville. Just things that, just human error, a lot of human error. But Jack is clearly capable of bringing solid weekends in. He should be further up, but he's not. And which means we've got to look way down to find Cooper Murray, who has not been doing very well. Pretty much he's just been bashing around with Aaron Cameron unnecessarily. So he's been having a really bad year. Like you'd think he'd be having as good he should be closer to Macca Jones. And Macca Jones we bag him, but he's kind of the benchmark. This is where like your rookie season should be somewhere near where Macca Jones is. And if you're not close enough to that, it's not looking good for you. But Cooper Murray's probably going to stay at Erebus for next year because they believe in him. He's demonstrated across the year he has that potential. They just need to make it start to work for him. And so they're always comparing Cooper to Kai Allen, who has got arguably a better team around him than Cooper's got. Erebus are in a huge rebuild at the moment. They need to start attracting another proper engineer, so that Barry Ryan can just do the CEO job, and they can let the new engineer just do his thing. And so yeah, it's not going great for them. They do need to pick things up. But this is just what happened after the wake of 2024, where things boiled over between Brody Kostecki and Erebus, and they lost sponsors, and then at the end of 2024, they lost their engineers, and they've got good cars, but not the people to make those good cars do what the cars need to do. So they're sort of playing catch up, and I guess I think that they need to get results really, and then once they get results, they'll be able to attract people to come work with them. David Reynolds, he started to pick up his year a little bit, but he's just not having a great time. What's that, Tassie? Unfortunately, I haven't named the thing. I've got to go into the data and change things. What else have we got here? Jimmy Golding. Oh, Premier are having just a shocker. Premier are not the same team as last year. They do not have pace. They've had a couple of flashes in the pan. They had SMP, but they managed to drag out a decent. I think he was top 10 in the championship after SMP. They went to the Grand Prix, had a terrible time. Went to Taupo, had a went to Taupo, had a terrible. Went to the Grand Prix, had a terrible time. Went to Taupo, obviously got a few points you can see, and went to Tassie, had a great time, and then since then they just have not been picking up points. They've been just dropping, and which is really bad for Richie because Richie's not. What we got here? Is this JC? Yeah, like some drivers are having flash in the pans and some drivers are having just a bad time. That's not Jackson Evans. Who am I clicking on here? No, that's not Bryce Forward. And it's a little bit tricky. I don't know who that orange driver is or the pink driver, whatever they are. No. There's Richie. Yeah, so it's Richie there. He's just sort of banging around close enough to Macca, but he's just not able to get a weekend together because things keep happening. I think we talked about Townsville. We don't need to talk more about Townsville. So yeah, that's what's going on. It's a crazy time. What else? So yeah, who we got here? Who's this other green one? That's Andre. We talked about Andre. He's got close to Thomas Randall. If Thomas isn't careful, Andre could jump a couple spots, but he's got to beat Anton. I think Anton's got him. Well, actually, no, you look at the last few rounds, Andre's had Anton over easily. So, but he's just had a really good time at Townsville. That's about it. Andre was actually pulling away at Darwin because he had a pretty solid Darwin. And just didn't have as good a start to the year as Anton. Went to, what we're looking at, Taupo. And got ahead of him from Taupo onwards. So it's probably a pretty solid battle going on there that we're seeing the back end of the top 10 of the championship, because Thomas Randall has just had a crummy last 2 rounds and he really needs to pull his finger out and start bringing some better points in. Start bringing 100 and 180 points in. So, all right, I think we've talked enough about my lovely coloured lines, and now we can start talking about some solid things. Hang on, where are we looking at? I was just talking about Thomas Randall, so let's have a look at Thomas Randall. Here we go. So I got points written for underneath each round, and you get a bit of an idea. Like he was 6th in the round for SMP, 13th at Albert Park. Just had a bad time because he goes to Albert Park and has a terrible time. And so you get a bit of an idea of how many points they need. Some rounds you don't. Sometimes some rounds you score 183 points at every round. It means different. It means it's a different amount relative to other people. Like if more people have a mixed round, I think Perth was an easy one. Like it's 163 points, came 7th. 183 points in Tassie. It's 20 points more for 1 spot extra. And I think he's just had a bad time. Townsville and Darwin. Looks like Darwin just had no pace, and Townsville not capitalising, just having issues. Looks like brake issues all weekend. Struggling under brakes in Q2. Front brake issues on the Friday. Damage, and yeah, not a great Sunday, but a good enough Sunday. You needed to get 100 points so you can walk away from the weekend not losing a spot in the championship. So he's holding on to his position. He needs to get back into being top 10 in the round to continue to hold his position. Otherwise, he's going to get jumped by Anton and Andre. So we'll have a look and find Andre here, who it's been up and down. He had a good start to the year, 10th, 7th, and then kind of a not great run. Tassie wasn't great and Perth wasn't great, but not great means like his worst round, he got 95 points at Perth, which is pretty good. Like Macca Jones wishes he got. I mean, I think that's about what Macca Jones gets every year. We can actually check that. Macca Jones, he gets just under 100 points on a good weekend. He had a great weekend at Tassie, and that was about it. Like in his best year, he's going to come 18th in the championship. Macca Jones. So Andre's doing pretty solid. He needs a little bit of a bounce back, but not as badly as Thomas Randall, who's just bleeding points at the moment. Bryce is doing pretty solid, but he's only got the momentum for the last couple of rounds. Oh, did I mix up the rounds? Tassie and then Perth? So Bryce didn't have a great Perth. Good enough, not great. All right, I don't know why, but I guess I felt like it. No. The 13th isn't bad. Like if you come in 13th in the round, you're scoring good enough points to hang in the mix, which is pretty much what you need. Like, yeah, you had a bad start to the season. The first 3 rounds were not good. Then you've got Tassie and Perth. He starts to find something. Where obviously qualifying well, and then at Perth racing decently but not great. And then Darwin managing to stitch it together. Townsville stitching it together. I think I saw in comments somewhere somebody said, "Oh, yeah, Bryce is doing the right thing. They're just aiming for top 10s." I'm like, I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they've just found something with their setup that works for them, and that's what they're doing. So I can't remember what Bryce said in the Drivers Only podcast, which, by the way, I think I did one a little while ago, a stream a while ago, complaining about the Drivers Only podcast having, they always have the same drivers, but they finally had, they had one repeat, which was James Golding, but that's okay because I'm a Jimmy fan. Nick Percat and Bryce Forward were on, and I thought, great. First of all, Nick Percat's a solid guy to have in your show. He's going to have some good things to say, or some interesting things to say. And you got Bryce Forward, who's just a great, friendly personality. Like we love Bryce. So yeah, you got 7th and 9th in the round, but then you got 5th for Andre and Darwin, 9th for Bryce and in Townsville. So Bryce beat Andre there. Go to Perth. Bryce beat Andre there. Go to Tassie. It's pretty narrow, but Andre beat Bryce. Go to Taupo, and the first 3 rounds were great for Andre, and pretty much Bryce is on a clawback really. He had the way his season started. You thought, oh no, this is his last season at BJR. It's over. And so he's been playing catch up a little bit, trying to recover from a bad start of the season. Whereas Andre is trying to maintain his momentum, which he is managing to do, but it's not the best at the moment. Richie Stanaway just cannot catch a break. I think they just have not found any speed for him, and there's just be like issues. Like he finally has a good qualifying in Darwin, qualifying 10th, and then just the car dies on him with the power steering. He's had one good race at Tassie, But even then, just the racing wasn't great for him. Which has not been great at all. Like even like Jimmy has not found much speed. He had two great rounds. SMP was a solid start, and Tassie was great, fourth in the points. Now, is anyone else I was talking about that was an interesting one to look at? Cameron Hill was an interesting enough one. Like they not a great start to the season, but then they had two really good rounds, third and fourth at Albert Park and Taupo. But then they've been outside the top 10 for the next few rounds. Darwin was okay for points, but yeah, he's just dropping, and that's why he's out of the top 10 at the moment. Is because they have not found it. Ryan Wood is another one that'd be good to show, and obviously Kai Allen as well, because I think some people think that Ryan Wood and Kai Allen are going to be in the finals, or they think that Kai Allen at least is going to be in the finals. So Ryan Wood, I think Ryan Wood typically is a top 10 round driver. So got Albert Park, great race pace, just racking them. Was that 5th there, 6th there, and just qualifying in the top 10 is really strong pace. Taupo, they were really good points, but not like big points. Like surprisingly, Perth was actually one of his worst rounds in terms of points that he was scoring. Actually, it was his worst round. You think that because he won the first race, but it was actually a shorter race. I think what is it? The 440s as well. Oh, I'm gonna get confused, and I'm gonna say the wrong thing. But he won the first race, and then had two terrible races after that, which is even worse than a big point scoring round. So he's had to play a bit of clawback, which a DNF at Darwin with the engine failure did not help. But then I guess 9th and 8th just aren't quite good enough for points. And Townsville was good enough, but not the best. Is that Belgian Grand Prix? Belgian Grand Prix is happening soon. So he's just not like I think that Ryan Wood, his typical weekend is top 10s. He's getting top 10s. He's just had issues. So that's why he's in the top 10 of the championship now. Kai Allen, I'm not completely convinced. But it is his rookie season, so we don't really know. We can't be sure. Like 13th at Townsville. He got one top 10 he sort of saves his weekends on the Sunday. They're pretty good in the Sunday races. Tassie, he got unlucky with some suspension damage. Or, I mean, how do you get suspension damage? You're not just driving around by yourself and get suspension damage unless you just hit a curb. Like it happens because you did something. Taupo got spun on lap 1, probably didn't help. Especially they qualified 7th and got spun. That really not helping. But he come 18th. The racing was pretty fierce at Taupo. It's just to get caught up in the battling and started to get qualifying fixed so that he could have better starts. He had a bad start at the first race of the season. You can see up there, he qualified 10th. Bad start, dropped to 19th. And once you're down the back, they're battling for sheep stations. Like you got your Aaron Camerons and your Cooper Murrays who are trying to win the championship in 18th place or 20th place. And so it's not great. And you got James Courtney who shouldn't be battling for 20th. He shouldn't be getting caught in incidents with guys battling for 20th. But yeah. Second in the round at Darwin, so that was a big points hole for him. I don't think his typical round is top 10 in the points. So it's going to he needs to have some good weekends at Queensland, Tailem Bend and Bathurst to get into the finals. And yeah, it's going to take a lot of luck, I think. I don't think it's as forthcoming as it would be for Ryan Wood. It's obviously Kai's rookie season, so he shouldn't be expected to make the finals in his rookie year. It would be a great story, but maybe we just don't pressure him too much. Like, he's having a pretty damn good year already. He just needs to. They just need to work on ironing out the kinks, and then he'll be on. Who else? Who else are we looking at? We looked at Cameron Hill, Will Davison. Will Davison's just having a terrible time. Just he's had a couple of good rounds. He had a good round at Albert Park, one top 10, fourth, which is good for points. But when each race gives you 100 points, not even 100 points. It's like different for each race because each race is a different length. So that third race must be a big race. So the second one must be hardly any points. Taupo was good, top 10 the whole time there. Townsville, he was good. Had pace and just no luck. What has he got? He ran wide, slightly slow pit stop. And just the thing with Will Brown and Heimgartner, and somehow came 13th in that one on Saturday. And the wheel for Will Davison is like, it's such bad luck to have that happen. But he hasn't been qualifying great. But he did qualify well at Townsville, so it was just like it was really aggressive racing, and so he just ended up getting caught up in things. What else? I'll see if anyone's commented. No one's commented yet. If you're watching, say hi. Where I forgot. I was looking at Jack LeBrock. He's got he didn't quite get cooking until the last couple of rounds where he's got pace, but it's just not like he's having maybe less of a Bryce Forward sort of year because I think he's having about a Bryce Forward sort of year, except not capitalizing on the pace he's got. What else we got? I think that's it, kind of. Like with James Courtney at BRT, we know that he can deliver great results. What was it? What race was it? Like he had pace at Townsville, but just things kept going wrong. Apart from that first race, I don't know what happened in the Friday race at Townsville to James Courtney, but he just didn't have pace. I guess they just made a big change for the Saturday and found it and had the engine failure, then got spun around on the Sunday. But like it's BRT, like what are you expecting? No. So yeah, that's pretty much my TED talk on what's been going on, showing the points, showing the data. Cooper Murray has actually been improving a bit. You can see here, Darwin and Townsville are okay for points, but he's got the speed to bring in a 180 point weekend or 100 and something point weekend. And he just hasn't done it yet, which has been really disappointing. Because we've seen the multiple times in the year where he's stuck it in the top 10 and had good race pace, been fast, but fast only gets you so far. You need to be able to strategize right and race right to hold on those sorts of positions. We were looking at Thomas Randall a bit before. Where was he? There's Randall. You just need to keep on plucking away and getting those 100-point weekends. That one at Darwin, that's 19th. That's probably what's dropped him so close to almost losing his position in the championship, and things being so close between Randall, Anton, and hang on, no, is it Randall, Anton? Hang on, what was it? We'll look at my lines and we'll see how close it is. Randall, Anton, and Heimgartner. Like they're talking about, Anton's well clear, but he's not. Like Brody's well clear. Like Brody will have to have like a bad weekend. Anton or Randall or Heimgartner would need to have a really strong weekend, or Ryan would have to. But Brody's too good to have that kind of a shocking weekend. If we have a look at Brody, what was his worst weekend? Tassie, yeah, 23rd. Just they got disqualified in that first race. I can't remember exactly what happened, but something about the cars. Both cars got disqualified, and that was the only round of the only race that they got top tens, and then got spanned into the wall, and garage was steering damage in that third race. So really bad time at Tassie. But Brody's typical weekend is what middle of the 10. So he's got speed, just general speed, to bring home some solid points. Like Townsville, they got slower and slower. As Mark Larkham said, they just get slower and slower across the weekend. Not so much at Darwin. Darwin was a bit different. I think it's that middle race. It depends depends on the formats. The formats are all over the place. I can't tell if it's a 440 or what's going on, because I don't think Darwin's a 440. I think Darwin's something else. Just confusing. Yeah, I wish they put more effort into explaining each format. They talk about Will Brown. Like Will Brown's he's driving for 888. He's having solid weekends everywhere. Top 4. Cam Waters. We know he's got it. Things just go wrong, and that's all. Oh, I'm getting tired. Oh my god. Yeah, so alright, maybe I'll finish playing around with data and talking about stuff. One thing I wanted to do was look at the 2008 championship and talk about James Courtney's. Like, could James Courtney have won the championship? Apparently, I don't have the 2008 championship in this. That's annoying. 2006 V8 Supercar. No. That's going to be a fun time. Right? Okay, so we'll load that up and we'll have a look. Because I was starting to cook something saying, James Courtney had a potential championship in 2008. But looking at some of the races and going, I don't know if he really had that pace. Sometimes it was qualifying. They at QR, they just started mid-pack. But he had crashes and incidents, so shouldn't have been having that bad a time. What did I watch? I think I watched 2006 Queensland. They just don't have luck at Queensland. But you got, what was that? Crash at Adelaide, crash at Eastern Creek, which is the one with Paul Morris. I guess something didn't go well in that second race at Eastern Creek. Solid weekend at Hamilton. Something went wrong at Barbagallo. I can't remember what that was. I think it fell off the track or something. So like he should have been a lot better in the championship, because you look at Will Davison, and he was just able to capitalize a lot more. Like the Stone Brothers car should be better than the DJR car, but yeah, like even in Darwin, there's a lot going on across the season. Gold Coast maybe got fenced. Was that Tassie? Was he part of that big? Was it some sort of crash at Tassie? Not sure about the one at Gold Coast, but just like issues. Yeah, bad Tassie. That's bad Tassie. He ended up what? Just behind Will Davison. He had a good weekend, but that's like a recovery weekend. Will Davison had a shocker and a good Tassie. So pretty much about even at Bahrain, where Will Davison has a DNF for whatever reason, and Courtney just beats him. Yeah, it's difficult. Difficult to. Yeah, it's just close. Maybe it's just close, but sometimes, I mean, you can see it's a really long stretch here for Will Davison where he's just racking up top tens, and that would have been where he clawed his way up into the top 5 of the championship. The DNF does not help because I think we got the points here. If we got a 3-race round, what's it tell you? Standard. If you come, let's say on a bad day, you come 22nd roughly. So you get 26 points. That's the difference, which can make the difference between where you are in the championship. Craig Lowndes, things are just going wrong. But sometimes you make your own luck. If you qualify badly and it's not because there was a red flag or something when you're on your lap, you just need to pull your finger out and do a better job. Jamie Whincup, he just finished in the top 10 every race whenever he had a good race, but like it's a bad Hamilton for Lowndes. I did watch the Hamilton weekend, but I can't remember what happened exactly for him. I think just issues. I need to stop and eat something. Hey man, it was progressive grids as well. Yeah, true. So if you had a bad first weekend, so yeah, flying through the field to finish right behind Courtney. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, had a bad first race and then just picking them up. Yeah, did you see my all of my data and my graphs? Every race Whincup, he finished the top 10 besides like. Yeah, that's 08, man. 2007 he learned how to be good, and 08 he just smashed. Like you didn't even need to necessarily run away with it, but like Frosty was close and he was beating him, or he's close enough. But Frosty would just have bad luck because Tickford would screw up somehow. But Jamie was just racking up points. That's how you win championships. And then you get up to the last round, you can have a shocker and you still got it. As long as your rival's having a shocker. Listening in the background, yeah. I'm just doing my thing, rambling about the Supercars is what happens. Yeah. Yeah, there's like bugger all on YouTube about Queensland. I gotta watch the Darwin one because I reckon Rick Kelly. I think I saw something about his qualifying. Like, I don't know. In the Triple Eight Cars book, Whincup said 08 was the first year they let him have setup direction for the car. Okay, I really want to. Any V8 sleuth book about cars, I like looking at. I think I've got a couple books. Glenn Cito and Murph. That's what I've got. But their books are expensive. They're like $100 books, but they're really good, obviously. So you want to learn about like HRT cars and Triple Eight cars, and for those sorts of teams, people were used to buy cars from them. So you learn about an interesting history and of did they build the car for them or did they run it in HRT and then sell it later? So there's a lot of interesting things behind the scenes that you hear about, and you go, "Oh, that would explain a lot." Let's just sit back and listen because you're teaching me things I'm not paying attention to. Yeah, it can be a bit of a grind to understand what's going on. I think like sometimes Supercars does a good job. They did a really bad job. There's an article on the Supercars website. They're talking about the finals, and they kind of screwed something up. And I'll show it because it's so bad. Here we go. So, where is it? They're talking about the finals. Where was it? Where did I see it? Oh, the duels that could shape 2025 finals rankings. I think that's what this one is. And it just gets so complicated. And they kind of gloss over there being the Enduros are where it's going to count the most. You need to have a clean Enduro season, couple top 10s, and you're through into the finals. But if you have a mechanical issue, if you try too hard to win the race or have a good round, like you kind of just need to just get through to the end of it, get some solid points, get some P11s, and you're through to the finals. Unless your closest rivals are smashing you. But here we are. This is where I'm like, what the hell are they thinking here? So you got like, here's the top 10 of the championship, or here's like the championship after Townsville. So they got this thing called finals, and I have no idea what that means. They're like plus 898 points from what? From 10th? No, not from 10th. From somewhere vaguely in between 10th and 11th. Like, what the hell is that? Like, Ryan Wood is 0, right? Or at least, or Cameron Hill's 0, but instead, like, he's negative 53. I'm just like, they did such a bad job with that, and they need to pull their finger out, because they're overcomplicating something like this. They're showing like the gap to each driver, how close it is. I think my graph actually does a way better job with it though. So it's a reflex to Apex when I was pressing them about how shit the coverage of it has been. Yeah. God. Yeah. I think also the Valve Bounce were talking about how they were looking at the final stuff, but I was just watching the racing at Townsville. You thought the top 10. Yeah, but like it's negative, positive 53, but it should just be a 0. Somebody has to be 0. You thought the top 10 was set after. Yeah, exactly. That's the way they keep on selling it. They keep on talking about after Queensland, but it's not. After Queensland Sprint Cup's called, but Feeney's going to win that one. Finals is after Bathurst, and they keep on messing with it. And I think that's what Apex Hunters are trying to say. Yeah, it's after Bathurst, and they need to drive that home, because they're not. They're just half-assing it. It's like they're talking about who's going to make finals, but it's not even Supercars doing it. It's just like everybody else is talking about who's going to make finals, and Supercars is doing this loosey-goosey half-assed effort. One D and F is GG's. In an Enduro Cup, yeah, because you're going to drop like 100 and something points to, like you're not going to drop 300 points unless you're going to win, but 6 down can't afford a DNF. Yeah, come 11th every race. That'll be a solid weekend. Just come 11th. Like, do we have the points? Oh, that's annoying. Why I don't have Wikipedia articles for every single thing. Does it have the points? Oh God, Wikipedia, do not write a lot of words. It's going to confuse the hell out of me. And they are still trying their damn best to explain the final system and the bonus points. It's so complicated. Holy crap. I just want to know how many points you get for each round. Here we go, point system. And I'm going to show that so that we can all see what's going on. So, not that. 11 and 12. What the frick? What is this? Why? Why Wikipedia? Who did this? Alright, these are the 440s. So that's the thing. Like, round 7 was what? Townsville and Sydney. That's so complicated. It does not help. Basically, what we're looking at is the 2002 point system. Like, they kind of threw it away. You still keep the 300 points per round, but now you don't know how many points you're getting for a win. So, it's just very, very complicated. All right, it's the same for Darwin, but I thought, I don't know. So 9 and 10. So if you come 11th, you get 144 points, which is, most people do not get a 144 point weekend, I don't think. If I find, if I find who might have been 10th or something, 11th at Townsville. 10th is LeBrock. He got 129 points. So if you get just shy of 150 points, that's about 10th. But some races you need more points. Like Taupo, LeBrock got 100. I'm not showing stuff again. I need to do better than that. LeBrock got 100 was 100. Well, I was looking 132 points at Taupo, but that's 12th. So 150 points is probably 10th. So certain rounds you get a bit of a lucky skip, but other rounds 130 points is probably what you need. So yeah, come 11th in both Tailem Bend and Bathurst. That's what you need to get into the finals, pretty much, unless your rivals beat you, and that's kind of it. Yeah. I need to eat some food because I'm starving and just not eating enough food. Does Townsville... Yeah, Townsville 200k races. The Adelaide... Yeah, it's not the Adelaide 500, it's the Adelaide 600. So that's why there's like more points for those races. But the Friday race in Adelaide is 50 points for a win. What did Brody get? He got 60 points for his win at Townsville. Not good enough, really. They just have really bad Sundays. Brady has a bad Sunday all the time. He should be further up in the championship with that. That's why Taupo was so good. So with the 440, it's 80 for the short races. Yeah. First two races, yeah. So I think the 440s, the short races are different tyres, and then the third race is the soft tyre for the whole thing, the new soft tyre. So, it's just like, yeah. So maybe Brody should be having a better year. Only 200k races now. No, it's 250 according to Wikipedia. I'd have to find whatever the thing is for Adelaide on Supercars website. So what is it? 2025 Supercars calendar. Blah 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 blah. I don't know what. It's not going to help. The Supercars website says 200k. Okay, so what the hell is Wikipedia getting its information from? They're saying 250. I'll have a look at the calendar. What's it saying? How do I even find, like, the article at the start of the year should just be the only thing that you need to look at. It's just silly. Because what was it? I know I looked at prices for the Adelaide 500. Not too bad. No, on the Adelaide Grand Final website it says 250k's for Saturday and Sunday. Discord, yeah, I do. Hang on, I'll what the heck is that? Hang on, I'll find it. It's Mabini something. I can't remember what the number is. Hopefully, there's like a thing I can just like use like a share or a share link or something. Oh, it's updating. I haven't been on Discord in a while. It's almost done. But yeah, I'll get it for you, and then you'll be able to send me stuff. Oh. Yeah, because our grand final website says 250Ks for Saturday and Sunday, so I don't know. Hurry up thing. Yeah, it's gonna take a second. Here we go. I mean, all right. What's all this nonsense? How do I do it? Is there like a button I can use to share stuff? To share my profile or something? Hang on. What's that? Yeah, it's Mabini 90558. Hang on. Oh, if there was a way to do it, that'd be better. On Discord. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can add me on Discord if you want. I think it's 9058. I might double check that. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. According to the Adelaide Grand Final website, it's 250Ks. So, hang on, what does the Supercars website say? If I can try to find the damn thing. Calendar. Click on that, like, Grand Final. 250Ks race distance, according to the Supercars website. That's not really accurate to showing everything we want. It's not really accurate. Yeah, it says 250Ks on the Supercars website underneath the Adelaide Grand Final thing. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what else can we look at? Because I was looking at the 2008 championship, but maybe James Courtney didn't really have a chance at getting that championship. I think maybe 2007 he might have been closer. So I'll go back to 08. They didn't had a car for pole for the for Queensland. I could probably look at Racing Reference and see what his average qualifying positions were. So we go to James Courtney. Not working. Can you put it on screen? Yep. Yeah, I can do that. Hang on. Just need a. There's nothing I can do, so I'm not showing too much. Hang on, because I don't want to accidentally show like other people's things. Oh, hang on. Copy username? Maybe that'll do it. Who's Stinky in 07? Yeah. Not working. I do not know. What can I look myself up on Discord? Yeah, I got no idea. What's your Discord? Might be easier that way. Because it's just my beanie on Discord. So yeah, maybe if you just give me yours, it'll be easier. Hang on, what can I do? User settings. Standing. I wish there was like a share thing to make it easier. Yeah, I'm not. You said links don't work in here. Yeah, you can't send links apparently on the chat. Should have a share button, right? Okay. I gotta add friends. Double check that the username is correct. Well, it looks correct. Why can't I show myself a friend request? That's very concerning. Why is it like that? I can give you. I've got an Instagram. Your username? Yeah, it might be easier. Yeah, man. 21. All right. There we go. Hopefully that's gone through. I've just sent you a friend request, I think. You think it would have like a share button? There we go. Yeah, so you can send links and stuff. There we go. Yeah, so if you need to send me links to things, that'll be cool. I was looking at James Courtney because I wanted to see his qualifying. I think he got better as a driver, but it's hard to say. New points allocations. Okay. Yeah, there's so many articles. All right. Hang on, I'll show it. We can look at it together. Boom. What? Maximum points will be weighted 2 races. Yeah, we know that. It just got complicated. Wait. 50 points, 125 to 250Ks. Yeah, it's 250Ks for the Saturday, Sunday. But yeah, it's obviously the points system. Okay, it was 75 points for all 4 races at Grand Prix. And the 440s are 80, 80, 140. Which is what we've had from Taupo through to Darwin. Then you go to Townsville. Friday you get bugger all points, but Saturday, Sunday you get big points. So if you have bad time in Townsville, you lose a lot of points. Or you lose the opportunity to make bigger points. Back to the 440 for Ipswich. Gold Coast is the 500 and Sandown is the same thing as well. Just 150 points is probably apart from the Bend and Bathurst, it was there's some big points up for grabs. So apart from like the Sunday races, we got who won the one at Darwin? Feeney. Who won the one at Perth? Probably Feeney again. Matt Payne won the one at Tassie. And Matt Payne won the one at Taupo as well. So they've been pretty good on a Sunday. But they also just haven't had the speed to turn it into a big result. Two different formats for Adelaide in the article. Okay. Yeah. It depends if it's a quote or not. See, it's 125 the 250k races. Sydney and Adelaide will stage a race on the Friday. 200k Saturday and Sunday winners to take home 120 points. Yeah, but I see. So they're saying yes. It's probably just an accident. It's probably not supposed to be like that. What's going on here? It's Bathurst, I think. I think it's just complicated. I think it's overly complicated. Yeah. I think it's just a mess up. I think they didn't mean to say 200k's there, but which I've been saying for a little while now. Adelaide 600 is the thing. They call it the grand final because the management at Supercars think that it's a ball sport. I don't know why, but there is rubber and the things bounce, but it's car racing. You don't understand the point of the Friday race. Bang for your buck, I think, for a ticket. If you want to go to watch Supercars on a race weekend and you want to take a day off or 2 days off, if it's a 4-day weekend, you get a race rather than watching practice and qualifying, which isn't quite as exciting. I think with an actual race, it's a bit more exciting. It's just a bit annoying that you don't get that many points, though. So, like the one that Brody Kostecki won was the one that you get like hardly any points in. Because like what I used to do for Tailend Bend when they had the super sprints, I used to only go on the Sunday because you get was it Sunday you get 2 races? Yeah, I think Sunday you used to get 2 races. Saturday you used to get the one race and the driver signing and stuff. But on the Saturday you get more bang for your buck. Get more racing, get 2 qualifying sessions. So I think that's what it's about. I think the Friday race is just like, here's an incentive to actually go on a Friday. Whether it will last, we don't know. It's hard to say if it will actually make a big difference. 500 this year will be so stinky. What the Bend? I think the Bend will be a crazy time. The Bend is often one of those races that throws up a bit of a wild card, and it was a Ford track in 2023, and then we didn't do it in 2024. Not a good endurance track. We don't know that yet. It's a difficult track because there's so many different corners. It's making things hard, but it's what do they have? They have done enduros at QR, Phillip Island. And obviously got them at Sandown. If you're fast, you're going to be so far down the road. Yeah, true. So they could be big gaps at a place like the Bend. Let's say Thomas Randall and James Moffat are right up the road. Haves and the have-nots will be too far in between. It could be. And what are they saying? Did they get rid of the rule? They didn't. They didn't get rid of the co-driver start rule for. I think is it just for Bathurst or is it for Shikara? It will stand out like an eyesore. Yeah, when Anton has no pace at Sandown at the Bend, that'd be a bad time. They haven't changed it yet. They're talking about it. Okay, yeah, they're beating around the bush. Because it's just about Goddard, isn't it? That's the reason they're trying to. They're like, oh, do we do this? Do we do that? And it's about television because apparently Supercars got to listen to the people who run people from Channel 7 thinking that they know what's right and what's good. Like they did with the wheel nuts, has ruined so many races. But last year's race, because top 10 only has to have co-drivers. Yeah. I think, isn't it that they get the option? What was the... Hang on, I'll go on Speed Cafe. I'll see if I can find it. Yeah, a guy died at Sydney Motorsport Park in, I think, a production car race of some sort. Where was it? Hang on. I'm gonna Google it, apparently. Hang on. Supercars co-driver rule. There's one at... hang on. It was a V8 Sleuth article. Top 10 co-driver has to start. 1120 has the option. Right. Yeah. I think that it should just be optional for everyone. It was fine the way they used to do it. Different teams used to do different things. The ones down the back might start the main driver. And the ones up the front, they trust their main drivers, so they'll be like, yep, Lowndesy can start. It'll be good. There was never a problem. No. They made it a big issue after Goddard's crash, I think. It was immediately like, oh, should we have the co-driver start the race? It was a wet race, right? There were people crashing in 2000 at Bathurst. There were people crashing in 2017 at Bathurst. Yeah. It shouldn't be... It'd be like changing everything because of Adelaide 2016 and saying, oh, we can't declare winners for things like that. Could have happened at any stage of the race. Yeah, it just happened. It happened to take place on the first or second lap, and take a lot of time. That was a great race, though. Apart from that bit where 3 cars got taken out, seeing Lee Holdsworth and Matt Payne running up the front. I think Lee Holdsworth had the lead on the first race. I think, or was it Chaz? I think it was it Chaz and Lee? Someone, like, they were like running 1-2. I think it was Lee. I think Lee was on the front row. Can't remember who else was on the front row. But yeah, he was first. I thought he was leading the race, yeah. But I think Chaz was behind him. But I don't remember Chaz having a fast car that race. Yeah, pole. Lee was second, yeah. Because they didn't do the shootout because it's too wet. I remember that because Stanaway was in the mix and we're like, oh, could Stanaway make an impression? And so that was how he was able to snag his qualifying spot. Yeah. Yeah, but it was only because they didn't do the shootout. I think they did the same sort of thing in 2019. Was like wet qualifying. The water sort of, it messes things up a bit because we want to see, like, what is it? Scott Pye is always complaining, saying the worst thing about motorsport is that we have qualifying. Waters was on pole. Yeah, something happened. Something happened to Waters. He might have had a bad start or something. We can watch. I think I won't get pinged for it. We'll bring it up and we'll watch 2022 Bathurst. Here we go. Yeah. Right. Boop. 2022. Nope. I do not want to watch a skincare ad. What happened to Waters? I thought he had a really crappy start. Or did Mozzie get past him? We'll see. Yep, shit start. Bye-bye. Stanaway, what? Battling for second. And then Wink Up as a little spin. Wee Skittles! Jesus Christ, man. Ooh. Yep. Yeah, there's a bunch of him there. No, it was Brownie, right? Not Brown. Perkins sort of got all tripped up. I remember Jack Smith ended up with a dented bonnet. Like a bunch of these guys ended up with dented bonnets. Oh. Still ended up, like Feeney and Wink Up still ended up 5th. Was it Lowndes or Fraser? Look at that. Look at that driving. Who was in the... I think it was Lowndes who started, right? Leah Lowndes. That's how they survived. So, yeah, the winners leading 1-2. Is that... That's Luff in front of them 3rd. Got away with it. Oh, they got away with a good start there. Percat. Oh! Jesus Christ. It's such a horror crash, man. Oh my God. No, he slowed down there. And he couldn't steer. And he's just banged into him. Oh. Yes, Scott McLaughlin. Oh my God. But oh, some of those guys were so lucky. Fuck. Oh. It was still so great watching like, Lethal and Chaz run at the front. I don't mind a wet Bathurst though. Wet Bathurst is fine. It's wet street tracks that I just do not approve of because it's just a crash fest, and you end up with like a blocked race. Ooh. They get a penalty for that? Looks like he's got fresh air, and then they stop him and wait for car 2 to go by, and then I heard him curse on the radio in the background, so that's Warren Love. And that's a gift from Jody Whitcomb. They're getting pretty lucky with the number 2 there. That would have been outline fire. That's what I thought. He's got better exit though. This means he's got a half chance here. Waters making up for his shocking start. And is he sticking up? Yep. That moves him up now in position number 3. Now, he could end up with a crisscross here because his exit wasn't great. You can see it. Have a go at this. Now, with a bit of side draft, they are equal. The problem for Fabian is the next corner turns right. And he's well aware of it. And he's vulnerable to the next car, Brody, which is a racing Brody Costecchi. I think they came 4th in this one. Oh, Davo's terrible time. D'Alberto. No. There's Alberto on the horn. That's what happens when you run the 98 colours. Bogged. Slap. Jesus. Oof. Got SVG right there. Pushing him through. Oh, that's good. I think Richie's having a really good race there as well. What they got behind him there? Matt Payne in there. Oh, God. Matt Payne doing well in the number 10. What Chaz is hoping to do is just annoy him and unsettle him, get him to break concentration and maybe lose his cool a little bit, but he won't be an easy fella to unsettle. Got a car in the water. Blanchard. I think he got bumped though, didn't he? Yeah. Oh. Who's that? Luff? Yeah, Luff or Percat? Percat, apparently. Possibly. I think Fullwood had a pretty good race. I think Bathurst was like one of the only good races he had in 22. Oh. Bad luck. They still ended up on the podium though, didn't they? They ended up third, despite this going on. Feeney's been off the road. The water on the side of the road there. I remember that being a big deal. Oh. What? That lost it? You know what I'm saying? I think so. Be faster then. Boys and Jones. Beached. Yeah. No, I like Jordan Boys, but Boys and Jones lineup have not had the best run. Murph, yeah, that's. He might have just not had a good time. Oh, he got nudged by Kostecki. Was that Everingham? Yeah. Not great. Everingham was the casualty of the. He was supposed to be a Tickford co-driver, wasn't he? And is he in this year, Everingham? That's a big lock up, eh? What the hell? Something's not right. Oh, yeah. Has he done one of those? Yeah. Like a McLaughlin and Slade crash. Haven't seen it in Gen 3 though, interestingly. Oh. Now, boys, don't take each other out. Neither of you are on the podium yet. So what happened to Feeney that cost him? Like 8 stops, and they're still third. Safety cars probably put him back in. Mostert faster than Feeney, possibly. What happened to Waters? Mostert was just faster than Waters, I guess. Ooh. Ooh, that didn't look good. Frontless guard. Come on, Jimmy. Hazelwood. Oh my God. That's what they should have at Bathurst. Sprinklers and just wild cards just sticking in the fence. Yeah, Waters will get Feeney. Still in for a chance to podium though. But faster cars around him. Like Waters had pole, so. Ooh. Oh. No, he didn't have a good exit. He's compromised. Unless. Ooh. He's still trying. Feeney's not going to let him go. Run him off? No. There we go. Right in it. Put the move on. He's going to have to. No? Very late. Very late. Run him off. Ugh. It's not a great move, really. Like, he just couldn't get the move done, and so Feeney was forced to evade. Jeez. Few band-aided cars lying around. Frosty, Smith, Hazelwood. Oh, there's Smith. What's that? Failure? Oh. Whack the wall. Oof. Might be the end of the day. But that car. Hi. Gee, we're getting all the ads on this one. Probably because Bathurst, so they just stick ads all over it. They don't want powder all over it because that just creates another job that they wouldn't have seen how much flame was involved in it. So one of the brake ducts or a bit of an inner guard or something is the reason why. So back up to the top of the hill, play wanders wide and bang. Steering like that, it's not responding to the helm at all. He slams into the wall between Greg Parker and McPhilly and does not trigger the safety car and they get it back into the lane. So 5 seconds margin between that. They didn't get on the podium, Brody. Oh, again. No luck. There's something with the brakes, right? He just didn't have any brakes when he went into Griffins. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a weird lock-up. I mean, who's with the real threat of being the SVG? Probably Mostert. But I think even Mostert didn't quite have the pace to get SVG. Yeah, I don't think Mostert had the pace, but we'll see, I suppose. Ooh. That might have been the end of the podium. Oh, I think Waters hasn't quite got the pace for the win there. Just not able to get a decisive move done. The SVG's just pulling away. Are they? Looks like he'd been giving it away. Or is it Mosset's going faster? Is that what the red means? No, here we go. He's getting close. Not close enough. Not nearly close enough. He's within a second, but he's not close enough. SVG's got a hooked car. And he's driving brilliantly. Kostecki wasn't able to battle Waters. There we go. Oh, he did get a penalty for it. Boom. Another win. The second final time Holden. It's a good point, Pie Mace, but there's no inherent fix for it. Yeah. I can't remember what that was about. That was a little while ago. Moffat started the car, that's why. Yeah. Front split of 88 being off centre. Pisses me off all day. Yeah. That's affected the error horribly, yeah. If we get in it and they plummet to like last, yeah. He was like, yeah, Rich was doing a way better job than Murph. And they only put Murph in because it was like, oh, it's Murph. And I don't know. Also, it was mad because Davison's a lap down. Oh, really? Oh, I thought it was Anton. I thought it was Anton in the number 100, or Anton or Tony D'Alberto. Hmm. Anyway, watching that race reminded me I'd been watching a little bit of 2006 stuff. I watched Queensland Raceway, where like Scafie had like a really bad 2006, came 16th in the championship. So I'll try and find 06. Because I think Courtney wasn't able to get. He didn't get his first pole till Adelaide 2007, but he was on for a good time. There we go. Where is it? Queensland. Because in the first race, he gets a penalty for, what was it? It was like Rick Kelly screwed up. Like Courtney put a move on Rick, and then Rick came in and closed in on Scaife and spun, and then I can't remember who it was. I think it was Winkup ran into the back of Scaife, and Scaife got turned as well. And Scaife got a penalty for it. And then he won the reverse grid race. And then I think in the third race, he had a suspension failure or something. I think it seemed like they had a fast car, but they kept having mechanical issues all year. I think that was in one where Todd had a really bad one at Queensland as well. But they just had such a bad run. When I was just looking at it, they're like, oh, he's 18th in the championship. I'm like, how did he turn it around? And you can see Sandown second, Bathurst second, pretty much beats everyone at Gold Coast, wins a round. Solid Simmons Plains, solid Bahrain, including a race win, then double win at Phillip Island, and then 5th in the last race. And obviously, I think it was the last race at Phillip Island was the one with the crash that took out, Lowndes and Kelly, and oh boy, the whole thing. So, but like such a clawback for Todd Kelly to be 18th in the championship after Queensland Raceway. Was it 18th or 21st or something crazy? While Scafie is winning races, not the right races. Apart from he won that one, but just not having a clean weekend for either of them, apart from Pukekohe, where Scaife won. But just such bad luck and a bad run. Winton was okay, 17th, not too bad in the reverse grid. You don't get many points for it. But just like, and then DNFs, and just such a turnaround to come 6th in the championship after all that and almost beat Bridie for it. And Bridie should have had a much better run as well, because they were talking about their luck, and they go into, like, he had speed on pole at Darwin, on pole at Winton, and just things not working out for him in a bunch of these races. I think it was a flat tire at Darwin. He was on for a win there and then won the second race. And obviously got the win at Sandown, but just some of these guys like bad luck rather than speed. And that's part of why Frosty ended up 3rd in the championship, is just the sheer luck. The 06 championship, it's just one of those really interesting ones where you look at everybody has something go against them at some stage. And I think Garth was he was the championship leader. He smashed everyone at QR, and he was the championship leader. And then I think, that's a terrible Owen Park. So Lowndes grabs it, leads, and then, oh man, such a drama. Not a great time throughout the rest of it. I think Garth just has some bad luck. Yeah, really bad luck in the Enduros, loses him a lot of points there. On the clawback, basically the guy to beat for ages. And while Rick and Lowndes are just scraping points to win the championship. really interesting season. There's so much going on that. But I remember the Darwin round not being very good for like passing. Because I was looking at Darwin races to give a bit of an example of whether the tire's any good. And I think was it 2006 was like one of the most boring ones. 2014 was the worst because the first race of the round, the only times anyone passed someone was because somebody fell off the track or went into the pits with an issue. And they kept on talking about, oh, Frosty's right on him, he's gonna get him. And that was all race and he never got him. So just stupid. Yeah, the 06 HRT speed was really good. Yeah, Enduro season, yeah, good points. Escape got DNF at Sandown and Bathurst. Yeah, not good. 26th in DNF. Suspension failure, Sandown 06. Well, they had something, and you dropped your worst round in 06 too. Okay, yeah, good point for the Enduros. Okay, hang on. I'll check that on Wikipedia, but we had a bit of an inconsistency on the Supercars website earlier, so drop the points from the worst round up to and including Bathurst. So I guess that means pre-Enduros. I think that's what. So you can drop Bathurst if you have a bad one, but it doesn't really matter what one you drop. The one where you get no points, or the one where you get hardly any points. What points do you get for 26 at the Enduros? 70 points. That's pretty decent. That's pretty good. Like, you drop 70 points. That's the difference between winning the championship and not for Craig Lowndes. So, yeah. And I think it was like that for 07 for Rick Kelly. But there's so many championships are really interesting like that, where it's just like these things have like slight. It's so up and down. And sometimes it's dominant, sometimes it's really up and down. And I think this was just in that time when there was a lot going on that made it really interesting, because there's reliability and competitiveness to a lot of different cars that were capable of winning races. And that just made for a great season. Winning the thing is 330. That ratio is insane. What was it? 320 to win the Enduro. Yeah, some of these formats are just like, that's why it's been better since it was 300 points. You know that if you win all the races, you get 300 points. Except these days you don't. I'll show you the. Where is my thing? Hang on, where is it? Does it not want to show? I can't show the Excel thing anymore. That's kind of concerning. Brock Feeney. Let's find Brock Feeney, because that's where you find the clean sweeps. So 304 points at Tassie, 305 points at Darwin. I think it's for the bonus points for fastest lap. And what did now Cam Waters got? What did Cam Waters get? 315 points. So you got fastest lap in every race, pole at every race, winning every race. I think I said it was like the first time in a really long time that anybody had actually just destroyed all opposition in the races. Had the close one in the second race with Feeney, but just nuts. Speaking of nuts. It's a bit complicated this year, I think, with the formats, different points per race. I'm not sure if I like it. I like the shake up. It's good. No, yeah, Pizzo's gonna win the championship after that weekend. Yeah. Have you not seen what Tickford do every single damn year? Exactly. I mean, it was the first time ever that Tickford actually had a really strong first round, though. They used to have just a terrible first round every year and then have to make it up. I think 2021 was like a clawback year. Yeah, but it's like, yeah, Tickford, don't count them in until the last round of the championship and be like, okay, they have a chance. And you know, when they reduced to 2 cars for 2024, they were like, "Oh, yeah, they're gonna win the championship. They're gonna win the team's championship." Tickford have never won the team's championship, and they won Bathurst and the championship when they were a 4-car team. So obviously the 4-car model wasn't bad, but they just talked absolute rubbish about it to say, "Oh yeah," and they just hyped themselves up so much for 24. Oh my god, too much hype. There was too much hype. The game was they come 4th and 5th in the championship last year, something like that. It's like it's not good enough. It's rubbish. What was it? 20. I think he came 4th and 5th. What was it? Yeah, 4th and 5th. And they don't have the drivers to win the teams anyway. Hey, Thomas Randall is a solid Fabian Coulthard, all right? Cam Waters is an almost Scott McLaughlin. I think it's possible to do it. You just kind of have to get a bit lucky. I don't know if I blame the drivers. I rate Randall too high. I've been slamming Randall for ages. I've been saying he's not that good. I did a video saying that Randall did not deserve 5th in the championship. He's not terribly shocking, but he's not as good as people think he is. He's just a nice guy, you know. I think Tickford rate him too high. He doesn't deserve a seat. That's right. Put Macaulay Jones in at Tickford. That's what we want to see. We want Macca versus Cam. One of the Super 2 boys should take it. Which one? There's 4. Like Ruben Goodall, Rylan Gray, Lockie Doughton, Nash Morris. Probably Lockie Doughton or Rylan Gray. Whoever wins the championship, yeah, that's it. We'll see. Lockie won Townsville, right? So yeah, they kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit. And then they're like, yeah, sign Randall for another 2 years. And I'm like, why? Like, they have so much faith in him. It's ridiculous. And yet he continuously proves to be. He's good enough for top 10 in the championship, but he's not good enough to get podiums when they have a car to get a podium. Go to an enduro drive if they wanted to. He could go to an endurance drive if they wanted. Huh. Am I getting confused here? What do you mean? Like Randall could do enduros? Speed. Oh, okay, just not full time. Yeah. Contracts are a bit like that, hey. Yeah, and when they say like multi-year deal, that sometimes they're just like, oh, that's not that just means 1 + 1. I think Lyco did a bit. I think it was in 2011. He was talking to Murph and saying, "Oh, you know, what kind of deal do you have?" And Murph's like, "Oh, I have a multi-year deal." And Lyco's like, "Yeah, that means this year and then an option for next year." And it's just like, what is the point of having? It just means first option, right? Like the team has to say, we don't want you. And then from that point onwards, then you're free to negotiate with other teams. They just want like that first choice. Like Lee Holdsworth, After when he left Walkinshaw after they won Bathurst to go back to full time, they offered that they said we'll let you go so long as we have first option when you retire as a co-driver. Like we want first choice. And so Lee retired at the end of 22, went back to co-driving, went back to Walkinshaw. And so then they wrapped that up because apparently last year he just didn't quite feel comfortable with their car last year, which is an interesting one. Could have gone back to back at Bathurst. He could have, but we just saw that race. I'm not sure they had the speed to do it. It was like if SVG put it in the fence. That's kind of what had to happen. He had to just park the bus and just hold up Van Gisbergen all race. What do they come? Fourth or fifth, something like that. Sixth. I had a pretty solid result, I think. 2022. Oh my god, why is it that I just don't have these things in my history anymore? Holdsworth, way down the order. Bathurst 6. Yeah, so not as good as you might think. It's Mostert compromising setup to suit Coulthard. Holdsworth and Mostert like the car the same. If Holdsworth hang on. So Mostert should have been able to win. So, he could have gone back to back if he didn't go back full time. Is that what you mean? So if Holdsworth stayed with Mostert for 22, they would have been able to win Bathurst. Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that theory. That's good. We like stuff like that. What did I think I said something about I think Kai Allen and Matt Payne co-driver speed is so important. Yeah, well, when you got the co-drivers in the car, the main drivers that are in all year, the way the aero wash was effed in those days, yeah. Yeah, because what used to happen is you used to get past and then you just sit there waiting. You just wouldn't be able to fight him back. Coulthard isn't shit, but he's not a top tier co-driver. He was all right. Okay. Problem is with Percat, the car was just not that good. So held that Penske seat for way too long. Yeah, but isn't that because I remember that I was at 2021, the big shit fight after McLaughlin and Penske left in 2021. Fabian was at Team Sydney. So good at starting. You're a Coulthard hater. I do want to go through things about Coulthard and work out whether he was. I think sometimes if you're up against the best, you kind of have to beat the best to be one of the best. So this is me saying bias takes don't take me seriously. Okay, all right. He was good at BJR though. Like he made BJR look really good so that people wanted to go drive for BJR. Team Sydney. Yeah, the big shit fight in 2021. So I can't remember what it was. I think Fabian was saying that was his level. So what was it? I can't remember the exact details. It was at Tailem Bend, and Fabian was driving for Team Sydney, and what was it? He said something. They interviewed him, and he was talking about how, yeah, I really like being like a lead driver at a team because it actually feels like I'm being respected, and not being mistreated. And so Scotty, who likes watching the races, he goes on Twitter and he's like, we got equal treatment, all right? Don't start talking shit. And that was great. I love that. It's just like Jamie Winkup's the 1.5 car team, DGR Team Penske. Certain drivers that shouldn't touch top tier machinery, and the reason there's ever second drivers is because mid drivers get top tier machinery. Okay, yeah. Yeah. But sometimes teams that challenge for championships aren't able to make it work for two cars. I think maybe Will Brown's struggles in 2023 was more of a personal thing, like he just wasn't able to get it right. And the same thing with Brock Feeney in 2023. Brody and SVG were just able to keep on carrying on and getting the results that they needed. But yeah, so if we exclude 2023 and then 2022, obviously, because Feeney was a rookie, they've had two cars that can just battle the championship. HRT weren't quite able to do it when they were winning championships with, but I think it's just Jason Bright really. Jason Bright was not quite close enough to Scapey in 01 and 02. But maybe just Scapey was really good. And the way things used to work in those days, and it might still be the case depending on what team you're at, they've got like a lead driver and they kind of base their setup philosophy around that one car, and then the other car is kind of on their own. It was interesting for Fabian though. Frosty said Bright was elite at building a team up. Yeah, Bright had a reputation of going to a team, and he knew he had that reputation too. He said he left HRT better than it was when he got there. He left. Never the driver to bear the fruits of the success of the team. Yeah. Well, he went to PWR and I think Bridie got the best out of PWR in 04. 06 they probably had a car to win a championship. But he didn't stick around to have a go in 07, and Richo, I guess, just wasn't as good as Bridie. So, and then obviously went to just run his own team, then goes to Brad Jones Racing, and they didn't have enough luck, and maybe got too old. Fabian was better. Richo was washed by 07. Yeah, it's difficult. When you're driving, like Perkins didn't always have a car to battle for the championship. Ingle was the one who was able to do it. And I think Perkins was one of those teams that once the sport got more competitive, they weren't able to compete for championships after 2000. Was it 2000 or 2001? 2001, I think Ingle was second. So since then, there were too many competitive teams and Perkins weren't able to do it. 06 Richo was still an elite driver. He was very consistent, that's for sure. Didn't they win Darwin? Oh, not Darwin, Barbagallo? Because they went like back to back at Barbagallo. 07 was like, damn, what happened to him? Yeah, well, because Frosty just smashed him in qualifying. It wasn't smashed him, it was like 60%, 60-40. And he was frequently not qualifying in the top 10 as well. It was pretty regular to see Richo struggling for pace. He did get some wins and some results, but it was few and far between. And if drivers get reverse grid race when the Team Kiwi car spun, that gave him the round win at Barbagallo. Okay, was that his win? No, that was Dean Canto. Dean Canto won that one. But Richo got the round win, I think. Yeah. one guy who actually got lucky out of that one. Murph got his only top 3 place of the year in 2006. So yeah, Dean Canto won that one. Must have been second in that race. Maybe. We can look that up. We'll look that up quickly. Might have been Jason Richards, but I'm not sure because Jason Richards was up there. Stephen Richards, yeah, second, seventh. So yeah, so I don't know why he must have had real pace in that second race, and started from pole in the third race at Barbagallo. Oh, because of the accumulated points, so he started from. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because they used to do like put the points together for whoever starts first. Yeah, that was yeah. I like the way they did things. I was talking about it with a workmate. The reverse grid races. They talk about how the reverse grid races encourage crashing. Except the problem wasn't that. What it really demonstrated was how many of the drivers were just not that good at their racecraft. They used to just bash into one another so much. And then like you'll see, I think, yeah, they just crashed into one another. I thought, just take it easy, mate. If you got a faster car, you'll get there. You might not win, but instead they're just like some of these guys just like throwing away races. I think it was Winton. Was Winton one I watched? No, it was 2011 Winton I was watching. Winton just does that. But yeah, just 06 was just an amazing season. Probably a different kind of best season. Too much of a gimmick for these days. Yeah. What's more of a gimmick? Friday races or reverse grid? Gridfield's too close now for reverse grid to work. Yeah, like whoever qualifies last, you might see Jackson Evans snag a podium. Like, I think the middle speed cars will be more likely to get those sorts of wins. Like the fastest cars would have to have everyone get out of their way or have really good racecraft to get their way through. But yeah, I think it is closer. I think the best thing that happened in like they talk about, we need more cars and supercars, but the way I see it, we still have like a couple cars on the grid at the moment that have different sponsors every round. That's not commercially appealing. That tells you the state of the sport. If you, like when we had Team Sydney with the highlighter cars, they barely had sponsors for the full year. So you need you don't need more cars on the grid. You just need more competitive cars. Because like if you like the slowest team on the grid is BRT, but James Courtney can grab a top 5 finish with the right setup. And, Aaron Cameron's getting better, so it's pretty close. They're not that far off. So, yeah, I think it's pretty good these days. What else? That's 06 I'm looking at. We're looking at James Courtney. Here. We're looking at James Courtney. We'll look at James Courtney. 5 Ox. Alright, so, and remembering progressive grids, so he had that crash with, something happened in Adelaide. He came 16th in the first one. Crash with Lowndes, I think, in the second one. Something happened, like, he was qualifying quite decently. The second race at Sydney, got spun or something bad round. Oh, that was the one that I think the third one's the one where he crashed with Morris, but something happened in the second one and he's 15th. But he had it was top 5 pace. And you got Perth. Something bad happened in the first race there. Clawed his way up 13 spots to come 7th. Melbourne is Sandown. 11th up to 6th, 6th up to 4th, 3rd. And terrible Darwin. And then, not terrible, top 10. And then something bad happened in the second race. And then clawed his way up to 7th. Gets his first win at Queensland, which he had pace, that's their test track. Drops down to 6th in that second race, up to 2nd in the third race. No pace at Winton. Claws his way up from 17th to 9th. Stays 9th in the second one. Drops to 25th. Has a crash apparently at Winton. Decent pace for the Enduros with Dave Bernard. Not really great pace at Gold Coast, right? Didn't really have the pace at Gold Coast, and some sort of DNF in that third one. Bahrain solid pace, and DNF in the first race. Clawed his way back. Yeah, I remember looking at Murph and trying to understand why. Looking at when they introduced separate qualifying sessions for 2009 and how much of a help that was for him. And it didn't really seem to make much of a difference. In some race, I think the first round at Adelaide, it helped a lot because if you could have a bad race on the Saturday, you could make up for it on the Sunday by qualifying in the top 10 again and then racing well. So it wasn't completely awful for him. Because that's what cost Murph the championship in 1997 was mechanical issues. Because he used to qualify on the front row every round, and then something would happen, and then he'd start down the back because he had a mechanical issue or a crash, and then he'd make his way back up through the field. And so the progressive grids cost Murph a championship in 1997. So, yeah. 2009 Adelaide, they had a weird format. One qualifying session for both races. Okay, that is weird. He wasn't a solid driver until 08. But he was quick, but too many mistakes. Yeah. I wouldn't even say even 08 or 09. Maybe 10. 2010, he was actually pretty decent. Had the speed to win Bathurst. Bernard just wasn't a good co-driver. Oh, okay. Because Bernard was all right in 2010 with Lee Holdsworth at GRM. They could have won that race. Why he didn't team up with SVG? Stone Brothers didn't like doing it. I think it didn't compromise. I mean, you're not going to compromise a championship because SVG wasn't going to be close enough yet because he wasn't ready yet to be battling for a championship. So yeah, just a weird policy, I suppose. I guess they wanted to have 2 cars that could have had a shot. But yeah, one qualifying session for both races in Adelaide. That is a weird one. No matter where you finished. Okay. Well, let's have a look at that. 2010 it worked because everyone had to have a co-driver. True. Changed it for the next event, so just a little when they tried. 09. Adelaide, yep. Started 4th in both races. That is such a weird fun fact, that is. There's a fun fact. That must have been why Murph was why it looked good for Murph in 09. Because he just qualified well and then was able to race in the top 10. Except 09 Tasman was screwed. What was it? There was a few I was thinking of Team Kiwi Racing when I was watching '06, and then I watched Crash compilation for 2008, and there was like big crashes for Team Kiwi Racing, just wiped them out of the sport. '09 he looked good because it was a sprint tire. Yeah, true. Using the short race rule, or all the good cars will barely use it. Okay, let's check that. Actually, this is a difficult thing to find. Hang on. Greg Murphy. Do I have stats on thing for this? No. Oh, it's so hard to find drivers in this thing. Oh, that's in James Courtney. Oh, hang on. I can just mess with this bit. Greg _ Murphy. I'll show my homework. Am I working out? 09. Oh wow. He started 18th in both races in Adelaide. Jesus Christ. He just had a really fast car in that second race. Did you say that they have a sprint tyre? They wouldn't have had a sprint tyre for Adelaide. And they had 2-race format as well, so maybe it's just certain rounds. And look at the number of laps, I suppose, as well. Oh, okay. The first race, so Winton, it's a half distance race. Didn't have any pace in that one. Launceston qualified second, finished 9th, so he would have had the soft tyre there. Things just didn't work out at Darwin for some reason. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realise they did that. And what's Melbourne in 2009? Is that the only Melbourne? So I must have been Sandown. Or no, the Winton's up there, so it must be Sandown. Yeah, so soft tyre there. Queensland, maybe soft tyre there, but only moved up one spot. This is Gold Coast, 34 laps. Interesting, the races weren't that long. Half distance, Phillip Island, sprint tyre. Perth, half distance. Yeah, you're right. You are right. I didn't, there's so many details I just don't know. That's 09 Homebush. There's so many races that would be great to see. Finding anything for 08 is hard, and sometimes you got to dig really hard to really know the details. Yeah. IndyCar bailed last minute, yeah, and then Crusher managed to pull it all together, so Supercars became the main deal at Gold Coast. 34 laps Part A, 34 laps Part B. Only got points for Part B. Oh, interesting. All the good cars barely use it. So many weird things in, maybe we take it for granted these days. We've got it pretty rock solid these days. You go back to 2009, even 2013. So when Wingcup was trying to sell the championship. Sell the championship? What? Crashes multiple times that weekend at the Gold Coast. Alright. 2009. And also that was when HRT was good. They won the teams championship. Will Davison had his good year. I'll tell you what, there's some bad races that we're looking at there. 09. There are some some good ones that you can see. Wink up. Oh dear, that's a stinker. So there's one DNF there. I imagine maybe crash in qualifying as well. Yeah, hang on. I've seen photos of Wink Up's the pink car when he had, I think it was a pink car. The pink car, pink FG, probably for breast cancer, with like a broken wheel. So what else? But you got like HRT here. I remember like Will Davison got his first podium. So I've seen that they've got both races up on YouTube for Adelaide. And then just pretty competitive. Frosty got a podium. Lee Holdsworth was pretty good at the start of the year. Lee Holdsworth was actually pretty damn good in 09. He switched it on. Pole at Townsville, pole at Sydney. I don't know what happened to Russell Ingall there. Just less DNFs and less bad races, maybe. It's just messy. Rick Kelly, not great. Like, you call it competitive, but there's just a lot of, what's that? Stephen Johnson only one DNF there at Sydney. I think it was. Look at Frosty, what a nightmare. 09 was not a good year for FPR. They were just struggling. And Richo was just nowhere. Although Richo said that they gave him a new chassis halfway through 09, and it was, I think it might have been the start of 09. So they were always off the pace from Frosty, and they were always struggling. And then, like late in 2010, they gave him a new chassis, and suddenly from like Gold Coast onwards, he was back in it, back up the front, battling. But he, like, even if you still go to like 08 and 07, Richo wasn't quite good enough. Like, they needed to be looking at somebody else, some other up and comer, and that's why they got Will Davison. Yeah. Pink was the final round. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, I didn't know where the photos were from. This was like when I first got into supercars, like really into it. And saw like, oh, Jamie Winkup's like the all-time champ. He's won all these championships. So I made a PowerPoint presentation about it. Just looking at some photos from his website, I think. Can't remember where I got these photos from. Might have been his website. So I just used them, and I was like, oh yeah. You just see damaged cars winning the championship. Let's see the PowerPoint. Yeah. All right, we'll find it. What is it called? Winkup is your goat. Yeah, Winkup is the goat. Is this the one? Hang on, what is it called? Is it this one in a folder called Winkup? Yep, it is. I'm gonna dip soon for the F1 though. Yeah, I'll probably wrap it up. I'm a bit tired, so I'll probably watch it too. So do. All right, I'll get it going. Have a little flick through and see what I thought in 2017. I think it was 2016. I think I made it at the end of 2016. So yeah, here we go. Doubt they'll even have a race. Oh, is it raining? Okay. 2021 part 2, yeah. All right, we'll go through the. We'll go through it. Jamie Whincup, why does he win so often? Motto and style. All right. So this is stuff from, pretty sure it's all from his website. And there's like a couple things that I saw. Some random quote from Ayrton Senna, take advantage of opportunities that present themselves. Will Davis not doing, looking back, he hasn't changed one little bit. He's always on the edge in karts and always doing sneaky moves or big moves. More often than not, it will pay off, and he won a lot of races. I would not say that's true in V8 Supercars. He had to work it out. Bin material. A 6-time V8 Supercar champion was once terrible. This is before he won the 2017 championship. Whincup first drive V8 Supercar for Gary Rogers Motorsport in 2003. Too much time spent off track or crashing into things. Lost full-time drive for GRM. Who is Jamie Whincup video on Supercars channel? It's just Whincup's crash at Bathurst was the last straw. I think he was saying Gary Rogers said that they sacked him for that. But he just first of all, he wasn't qualifying very well, and then he just fall off the track or get caught up in stupid dramas. I think there was one at Darwin that was just why the hell did this happen? There was one at Perth where he just fell off the track. Him and Paul Dumbrell were both pretty bad in 03. Endurance race with Perkins. And then I heard there was something about the tires. 04 was a pretty crazy race, so a few safety cars. But yeah, they managed to drag it in there with Alex Davison, and that helped him get the gig for Tasman. And then Roland Dane. Not sure if Jamie was beating JR a lot. I think there was something about, I think JR was a bit too crash prone or something like that, and they thought Whincup was a bit more of a solid driver for them to get. So you got the good and the bad. Won the Clipsal 500, won Bathurst. Bit of wheel damage, which could have ended up in a pop tire. So got away with it there. Big crash at Tassie, not good. Off in the sand, and that might have been in testing or something. This one where he's sitting on top of the car. A second chance. All he needed was somebody to have faith that he could improve his ability. Jamie said in the Supercars video that a driver deserves at least 2 years before they should start reconsidering their goals. By this, he probably means 2 full-time years, which is what he got. But he also probably meant 2 back-to-back years. But you've kind of got to prove it, right? Racing's expensive. You got to prove that you're getting better and that they should have faith in you. So 2007. So I think this is from his website where I'm getting these pictures from. No pictures of stuff ups. Win at Sandown, second in the championship. But he also got on a roll, I'm pretty sure, after Bathurst. He just started winning races and hunting down GT. 2008 championship winner. 2008 nasty smashes, but overall championship winner. 2009 same again. So okay, the one on the left there for 09, that's the one I was thinking of. That might have been from Gold Coast. There's the pink car, which I guess from Sydney, and then he's won the championship there. 2010, lots of race wins and no championship. This is very I just did not know what happened. I was just looking at the Wikipedia and looking at there's so much information out there. There's a lot to soak up. 2011 stuff ups and championship. 2012 in a nutshell, crashed car, winning lots of races. Winning for Red Bull Racing in 2013, a few bits of damage, but overall championship win. Yeah, that was good. 2014, his last championship win, maybe. Smoothest year. Pole positions, race wins, no stuff ups, championship. No stuff ups, I said. What about 2014 Bathurst? No championship 2015. Frosty finally breaks through. But can Whincup strike back in 2016? 2016 lost to teammate SVG in Adelaide after winning race 1. He admitted he had no idea when his last race win was going to be. Yeah, but he said you never know when it's going to be, so you got to appreciate them when they come. Whincup still has the pace, but SVG might have more. Yeah. But still got chocolates. After round 1 in Adelaide, 6 in championship, 6 in both races. There we go. That's my PowerPoint. The pick was Oran Park. Okay. Almost choked Bathurst 2007 in the gravel. Choking bad at Bahrain in 07. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I did talk about Darwin where he was locking up and things, like, still making sort of errors. Elite PowerPoint. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's, I've done better, but it's a fun one, that's for sure. Alright, I think we'll wrap it up, and, we'll watch Spa, see what happens there, if it's a washout or not. Alright, I'll see you next time, dude. Lovely chat. Yeah, we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.